Hey there, 10th standard students. Welcome to your exam playbook explainer. I am so incredibly pumped you're here. Today, we're going to completely crack the code on Economics Chapter 30, Rural Development. Now, if you've been stressing out about how to memorize all the definitions and concepts in this chapter, just take a deep breath. We've got this. We're going to break it all down step by step, use some killer memory hacks, and basically guarantee you those top board marks. All right, let's dive right in. Don't panic about the huge syllabus, because here is our masterclass roadmap. We've broken this entire chapter down into 5 highly scoreable, bite-sized chunks: the core problem, the master strategy, the playmakers, the Pura model, and finally, the secret weapon. Let's get moving.
Section 1. The core problem. Understanding India's rural reality. Let's start by figuring out what exactly the main challenge is here.
Okay, board exam alert. You literally want to grab a pen and write this down right now. Examiners absolutely love this exact quote by the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Development of its villages is the true development of India." It perfectly sets the foundation for why we have to focus on uplifting rural areas. Honestly, if you get a long answer question on the importance of rural development, starting your answer with this quote, that's a massive flex that'll instantly impress the evaluator.
So, why exactly did Gandhi say that? Well, think about this huge number for a second. 68.84%. According to the 2011 census report, that is the exact percentage of our population living in villages. Imagine our country as a giant sports team, right? If almost 70% of your players are struggling with poverty, unemployment, or a lack of basic facilities, the team just can't win. The gap between urban and rural areas is widening, and to achieve any real national development, we absolutely have to empower this 68.84%.
Now, if you get a 1-mark question asking you to define this concept, please don't write a vague answer. You want to write down this textbook perfect definition. Rural development is the improvement of the social and economic status of rural people by proper utilization of locally available natural and human resources. Notice the 2 key parts there. We're improving their social and economic status, and we're doing it by using the natural and human resources that are already right there in the local area. Make sure you lock that in your memory. Moving on to Section 2, the master strategy. Power to the people through decentralization. So how do we actually fix all this rural poverty and unemployment? What's our big play? The answer is decentralization. Imagine I'm drawing on a whiteboard for a second. If all the decision-making power is just a giant circle stuck in a faraway capital city, that is centralization. Decentralization means breaking that big circle apart and handing the administrative power and the responsibility directly back to the villagers themselves. It stops exploitation, it upholds human dignity, and it basically ensures that the people who actually live with the problems are the ones given the power to solve them. Makes total sense, right? Now, you absolutely need to lock in on a very specific term here, Grama Swaraja. Memorize this. It's a huge favorite for examiners. This was Mahatma Gandhi's ultimate vision for bottom-up, self-reliant village planning. It essentially means village self-rule. By practicing decentralization, we are literally bringing Gandhi's dream of prosperous, independent villages to life. All right, Section 3, the playmakers, the Panchayat Raj institutions. We've got the strategy, but who actually runs the plays on the field? Well, the Indian government, through the 73rd Constitutional Amendment back in 1993, created a uniform 3-tier system to distribute this power. You can visualize this pyramid using our ZTG memory trick. Starting at the very top and stepping down, Z is for Zilla Panchayat at the district level, T is for Taluk Panchayat in the middle, and finally down to G for Grama Panchayat at the village level. ZTG. Keep that image in your head, and I promise you will never forget the 3 levels. I want you to take a mental screenshot of this checklist right now. This is frequently a high-weightage 3- or 4-mark question. What exactly is the role of panchayats? Well, they provide the basics, like drinking water and streetlights. They push for education and skills training. They execute massive employment schemes, like the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Project, or MGNREGP. They make sure the public distribution system gets food grains directly to the poor. And they actively support women's self-help groups. Writing these exact points out will easily secure you those maximum marks. Okay, let's jump to Section 4, the Pura model, bridging the urban-rural divide. This right here is a brilliant conceptual model developed by our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Pura stands for Providing Urban Amenities in Rural Areas. To totally ace this on the exam, use our mnemonic, PKEE. First up, P for physical link. Imagine drawing a ring road connecting a cluster of 15 to 25 villages and wiring them all up with electricity. Next, K for knowledge link, dropping a school and a hospital every 5 to 7 kilometers right inside that ring. Then E for electronic link, adding telecommunication towers so everyone is fully connected. And finally, the second E for economic link, building a proper market yard in the center where villagers can actually buy and sell their produce. PKEE, master that mnemonic, and you've mastered Pura.
And finally, Section 5, the secret weapon, women in development. We've talked about roads, governance, and economics, but honestly, none of it works without this. The crucial point here is that a woman's role is absolutely decisive in the development of the country. Whether they are forming the majority of agricultural workers out in the fields or handling highly technical jobs in industry, women are the absolute backbone of our rural economy. In fact, here's a highly testable fact to remember. In Karnataka, because of reservation policies, over 50% of the elected members in panchayat institutions are actually women. Now that is real political empowerment in action.
Okay, pause. Major trap alert here. Listen closely, because this is where a lot of students lose a really silly mark. When examiners ask about women's labor, a ton of students forget to distinguish between these two different types. Paid labor is work outside the home that fetches a direct income, like farming or factory work. But women also perform hours and hours of chores at home. This is called wageless labor. And because they aren't paid wages for it, this massive amount of daily work is completely left out. It's not counted in the national income. So don't fall into the trap. Make sure you explicitly explain wageless labor to your examiner.
Now, to combat that kind of inequality, women's self-help groups, or SHGs, have been established in villages everywhere. Think of an SHG as a team of 10 to 20 local women pooling their resources together. If a 3-mark question pops up about the role of self-help groups, you are going to nail it by listing these exact impacts. They make poor rural women financially independent. They provide super easy access to microfinance loans. They are incredibly successful at ensuring loan repayments. And maybe most importantly, by standing together, these alert women help get rid of huge social evils like child marriage, the dowry system, and alcoholism. They are literally building a cleaner, more progressive society from the ground up.
And there you have it. You now possess the complete, high-yield strategic playbook for Economics Chapter 30, Rural Development. We've covered Gandhi's vision, the ZTG of the panchayat system, Kalam's PKEE Pura model, and the undeniable power of women's self-help groups. So review these memory hacks, watch out for that wageless labor trap, and go out there and crush those board exams. But as you walk out of that exam hall, I want you to ask yourself, how will your generation use this knowledge to help uplift the 68% of India that holds the key to our ultimate future? Think about it. Until next time, keep studying smart.